This is Listen After Watching.
A podcast where we recap and discuss the most mind-bending, twisty, and thought-provoking TV shows and movies out there. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Alicia. Let's dive in.
Hello there. Welcome to Listen After Watching, our first midweek episode. We are testing it out with a brand new show, The White Lotus, Season 3. Talking about the premiere episode today. How you doing, Leash? Welcome.
Thank you for welcoming me. I feel like a guest. Do I have no obligations as a guest?
Welcome to my podcast. Actually, you have to talk through the episode today. Did you get the email from my assistant?
Oh shit. Who's your assistant? Cowboy? Cowboy's a cat, by the
Yeah, I
way.
can't even come up with a name. Um,
I'm good
okay.
though. Yeah, we're recording at the end of a workday, so I am kind of drained. It was a busy day, but really excited to talk about this because we've been like in Severance world, and so it's nice to kind of step outside of that and get a new flavor.
Oh yeah, I agree. Severance has taken over everything. My TikTok feed is Severance. Everything is just my brain is severed. My brain's the opposite of severed. It's like plugged into
Yeah,
Severance.
yeah, same.
We are going to try to keep these midweek episodes quick and snappy. So we're going to jump right in. This is your perpetual spoiler alert. If you have not watched The White Lotus, Season 3, Episode 1, pause this, go back and watch it. We don't think you need to watch Season 1 or 2 to jump into this season. There are a
Mhm.
few characters we'll talk about that they've thrown in from past seasons, but these are for the most part, new characters, new storylines. You can start here and go back and enjoy the other seasons. They're pretty much standalone.
Mhm.
So, with that, let's get into it.
Okay, so we're especially excited about this season because it's located in Thailand, and our mom's from Thailand. If you missed that in past Severance episodes, when we teased the White Lotus, that does not mean that we will have any special particular insight into what happens in the season, or even that
No.
we will pronounce things correctly. I'll say that right out the gate. But I think we're just really excited because maybe we'll be able to tap our mom for some of her hot takes. And I think obviously it just holds a special place in our hearts that it is in Thailand, and to hear the Thai language and hear the music and all of that is really, really cool. But yeah, we have a new round of guests arrive at the White Lotus Resort in Koh Samui, if you're saying it phonetically like a white person. But I think is more like Koh Samui. Yeah, super excited. Why don't you run through our cast, because we have a really awesome cast of
Oh
characters.
man. Yeah, we won't even get into everyone, but we have a star-studded cast like most of the White Lotus seasons. This one particularly studded, I think. We have Isaacs, who, if you don't know, played Lucius Malfoy of Harry Potter fame. Ever heard of
Wow.
it? He plays Timothy Ratliff, which is the dad of the family. Parker Posey plays the mom, Victoria Ratliff. Alicia and I are huge Christopher
Ugh.
Guest mockumentary fans, so we grew up watching Parker Posey and think she's fucking hilarious. So
Love
excited to have
her.
her. I'm already cracking up at her this
I
season.
know. She's so
She's so
effortlessly
good.
funny.
So good. Um, Walton Goggins, who plays Rick Hatchett. If you've watched The Righteous Gemstones, he played Uncle Baby Billy. Uncle Baby Bill. I copy these character names from IMDb and I'm like, Uncle Baby Bill. He plays Uncle Baby Billy, I think is his name. Also hilarious. We haven't seen that in this season yet. We'll
No.
see if he gets funny. But just an interesting guy and an interesting actor. Also, a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Lisa from Blackpink, who plays Mook in this
Yay.
season, which is really cool. It was fun to see her. I think she's doing a great job.
This is like our first acting gig too. At least
Yeah,
the
I
first
feel
big
like
one.
Right. She seems great so far. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see more of
Agreed.
her and um, some of the other Thai actors too.
Mhm.
We have Natasha Rothwell, who continues her role this season as Belinda Lindsay. Always fun to
Mhm.
watch. John Grease, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he is also back this season, the bad guy from seasons before, very mysterious guy, maybe gay. We'll talk about that more. He is best known for his role as Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. If you grew
Mhm.
up in my time and watched that 5,000 times. Um, he's continuing his role this season as Greg Hunt or whoever he calls himself this season. We'll see. Um,
True.
lots of other actors who have tons of credits, and we could go on and on. We'll talk through all of these characters in some more depth in a moment. But Alicia, why don't you set the scene for how this episode opens?
Yeah, so we open the same way as all the other past seasons. Again, you don't have to know them, but they all start the same way. They start at the end of the story. So we get a glimpse of this climactic ending to the story, which always results in somebody dying, but we
Uh
don't
oh.
find out who that is or how they died. And the fun of the show is that we spend the entire season, which is just a week's time, is what they cover. But we spend the entire season trying to figure out what happened, who done it, was it on purpose? All of these things culminate. But yeah, what happens when this one opens is we hear gunshots going off at the resort, and somebody is floating in a pond, dead. And that's kind of where it leaves us before we're introduced to the new characters a week prior.
Yeah. I think what's so fun about The White Lotus is it is technically a whodunit, and it always starts off in this fun, exciting way. But as the story evolves, it becomes less and less about this like ending detail or this dead body, and we dive so deep into each of the characters like sub stories, which makes it
Hmm.
such like a rich, full experience that's so fun.
Hmm.
So let's get into what we're going to call the suspects of this whodunit,
Ooh.
starting with the Ratliffs. So this family arrives. It's a dad, a mom, and then three adult kids. They
Mhm.
are very Southern. They are very North Carolina. We have a lot of connections to the show. We also grew up in North Carolina.
Mhm.
So we know tons of people like this family, and we'll get into that more. But the characters from the Ratliff family: Timothy, the dad; Victoria, who's the mom; Saxon is the oldest son we hate; Piper Ratliff, the middle child, the daughter who is seemingly the reason they are in Thailand, this family; and then
Mhm.
Lachlan Ratliff, who's the youngest son. What
Mhm.
are your thoughts on this motley crew, Leash?
Oh my gosh. Well, I feel like, first of all, just seeing them in their outfits and their whiteness, it's just like so spot on with like the wardrobe and everything, and like the attitudes to like families that I know and avoided in Charlotte,
Yeah.
like just these like super wealthy people, like probably in finance or something like that. And I don't know, just like it's so out of touch, some of them, with reality, and like
Yeah.
so unappreciative of like where they are. It seems like, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious that they brought in, uh, Duke and UNC, which are, like, just
Mhm.
if you're from North Carolina, you just know, like, the family rivalries and things that happen. But I thought it was so hilarious that the moment they arrived, they're talking to the staff about, like, Duke and, Tar Heels, and just, like, as if they, number 1, know what they're talking about, and number 2, care
I
at all.
know.
But to them, that's, like, the
That's their
most important it
world.
must be important to everyone in the entire world, even here in
Exactly.
Thailand at this resort. Hilarious.
Yep. So all of these kids, they're all really different, but Saxon is an abuser, if we're just being honest.
Definitely. There's some childhood trauma that happened in this family. Faux show. Saxon, right off the bat, we know he's evil villain,
Yeah.
just a piece of shit, like a real tool. And
Mhm.
a lot of incest vibes happening in this family.
I know, and I don't know, maybe I'm naive or something, but I'm like, "Really? It's so blatant seeming to us, but, like, is no one else seeing this?" I don't know. It's the parents are kind of out of touch with their kids.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just like one little thing. It was like several things which in the within the course of like these few hours that they arrive.
It's so gross, and I also think I feel like Lachlan's maybe queer or
Mhm.
curious, and I think we'll see him explore his sexuality maybe a little bit in Thailand where he's like, disconnected from his normal life and feels a little more free. But I feel like there are some clues as to what's going to happen with them. Piper, I'm kind of confused by Piper's I don't know, her whole journey she's on. I don't know if she's like I don't know what's going to happen with her and this monk that she's or priest or whoever that she's going to see.
No, I agree. Piper is very confusing because seemingly the whole reason this family is in Thailand is for her to interview this monk who's nearby. But she hasn't even ever reached out to the monk. They walk up to the temple and she doesn't want to go in. There seems to be something a little suspicious here with why she's in Thailand, or I
Mhm.
don't know. We'll see how that plays out.
Should we move on to the next crew? Okay,
Let's
so
do
we've
it.
got the girls trip. Woo! We have Jacqueline, who is the famous actress. We have Kate, who is the coattail rider, clout chaser of Jacqueline, and they're like a cackling little pair. And then we have Lori, who is the real bitch third wheel. I think the one that we all kind of can empathize with a little bit. Yeah, what did you think
Yeah,
of this crew?
they were so annoying. The dynamic between Jacqueline and Kate is so annoying
I
because Kate
know.
is sucking up to this like actress friend who they probably aren't even honestly that close. They just like were childhood friends.
Mhm.
And Jacqueline's seemingly like eating it up. I agree. Lori is the only one. Lori is like doing what we're doing, like rolling her eyes and like, what are we doing here? I also really love the actress Carrie Coon, who,
Me
if
too.
you've seen The Gilded Age, was great in
Yes.
that and has been in some other things too. But I think she's the one to watch here. I think
Mhm.
she's gonna be the most interesting character. We already saw her scream out of frustration, which was amazing. Um, so I don't know.
Aw.
I think we're gonna have to get a little more from the girls' trip to understand where their story is going.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna have a moment where shit hits the fan and they start being honest with each other because it is just simmering under the surface right now, but it's so clear that they resent each other or are jealous of each other for whatever reason, and I think people are probably jealous of Lori.
Oh, I
I feel
love
like
it.
I feel like it might come around to that, but I also love Carrie Coon. She's so good so far when she just, like, broke down sobbing for, like, point 0.5 seconds seeing them talking together. I was like,
Yeah.
"I have definitely been in a situation like that where I felt that way."
I know, she was so real for that. Immediately when she did that, I would, like, turned to Abby and I was like, "She's so real for this."
The writing is so good for that.
Amazing. Alright, let's move on to our next cast of suspects, which is the Outlaws.
Mm.
Included in here is Chelsea, who is the English girlfriend with the English
Mhm.
teeth, uh, and her boyfriend, much older, bald, ugly, stressed boyfriend, Rick Hatchett. Also, Chloe, the new person that she meets at the bar,
Mhm.
by chance, question mark. who apparently lives nearby but isn't staying at the resort.
Mhm.
And her boyfriend or husband, I can't remember, Greg. And this is when the reveal happens that it is the same guy from past seasons
Ooh.
who, if you remember, is the widower of Tanya, played by the wonderful Jennifer Coolidge. RIP. We miss her so much. What did you think of these people?
Oh, man. Well, Rick and Chelsea, I am so curious about why, how they got together. At
Yeah.
first glance, it seems like, Rick is a guy who's, like, funding this trip for him and his much younger girlfriend, and that's the dynamic, but I don't know. People are theorizing that maybe it's, like, the other way around, that she's really the one who has money and he is not,
Mm.
for some reason, but I don't know if I buy that, but I, first of all, love Chelsea. Love her. She's so funny. I love the way that she, like, just his nasty, stinky asshole attitude. She's just like, she doesn't even let it bother her. She doesn't even take it
Yeah.
into account in her, like, her plans, her thoughts, like her appreciation for where she is. It rolls off her back.
Yeah, I agree. We should all be more like Chelsea. I also loved when she turned down Saxon at the
Mhm.
pool. That was a great
Damn right.
scene. But yeah, Chelsea is living it up the right way. She's not gonna let Rick drag her down. Rick
Mm-mm.
seems to be very stressed about finding the resort owner guy,
Mhm.
who is the husband of the lady that we meet.
Mhm.
Do we think this is a hitman sort of deal?
I think that's what they're wanting us to think, that he's like, either it's like a hitman situation or he's got some, I don't know, other business with him, but I think they're misleading us a little bit. It probably is more innocent than it seems.
Yeah, it could even be like, "Oh, I'm like his estranged brother or
Right.
something," and, you know,
Totally.
I agree. I don't think it's gonna be as simple as a hitman scenario, which is what it is at first appearance.
Mhm.
How about Greg showing back up in this season? What the
I
heck?
f I freaked out. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Greg." And then I turned to Matt and he was asleep. Uh,
That's great.
Anyway, so I had to take that one alone. But yeah, I like your implication that maybe Chloe and Chelsea are not meeting by chance and that there's some, like, I don't know, reason that Chloe approached Chelsea. Who knows? Maybe, but Greg seems just as, you know,
Skeezy.
skeezy as before, exactly. But I hope Chloe and Chelsea have like a little girls' friendship there. I'm curious to see how Greg ties into the, like, how did he end up here? How does it all tie in?
Yeah, me too. People are speculating that maybe he got Tanya's money after,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, she dies.
Oh,
Um,
no.
and then he's just, on the lam or just like living it up on the money. Why would he
Yeah.
choose another White Lotus resort? I don't know.
Right.
We're gonna have to see about that one because I don't have a good answer. But we know that Belinda, who we'll talk about in a minute, is also at the resort, and we don't know what she knows. So it could spell trouble for Greg.
I hope it does. Well, cool. Let's get into the staff, the next group of suspects. So first we have Mook, who is played by Lisa. She's a health mentor. This is like a health focused resort, we find out, which is like not the way that the other ones really were. So there are staff who are called health mentors. That's all you need to know. Um, then we have Guy Dog, who is a security guard. He's the guy who gives Mook a lift on his motorcycle because hers was broken. And they also have like a cute little scene outside the resort where they chit chat.
Mhm.
Then we have Sitala, who is the owner's wife. She's the older Thai woman who greets the girls' trip trio and introduces them to Valentine or Valentine. I can't remember how you say it, but he's the hot Russian health mentor or gigolo. I don't know exactly what his job
Yeah.
is. Quote unquote health mentor. And then we have a couple others. We have Fabian, who is the white guy, bumbling general manager. I don't know. He just seems like a little incompetent. And then we have Ponchai, who is the wellness expert. He's the one who greets Belinda and is going to be
Yeah.
training her, I guess.
Yeah. I loved seeing these Thai actors in this show.
Hmm.
So cool. I especially loved Mook and Gaitok. Their
Yeah.
little scenes together, just really cute. He seems like such a nice guy and
Hmm.
like very just smitten with her and like very protective of her.
Hmm.
I'm so interested to see how he gets hurt.
I know. He's definitely going to get
um,
his heart broken.
Yeah. Valentine was hilarious when she introduces him and she's like, "He's Russian."
I
I was
know. That was
cracking
so
up.
funny.
Yeah, interested to see what role he plays. Probably very pivotal. Um, but I don't know. None of the staff, I don't think. I think Sritala was the most suspicious one of all of them.
Mhm.
What would you say?
I think so too. And probably we think that because she has some connection to Rick, who's looking for her husband.
Hmm.
So I don't know, could imply that they're in some shady business together. But um, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she
excited to
just
see her sing. Apparently, she was an actress and singer. So,
I know. That's what I was gonna say. And she just seems a little mysterious, like she's
mhm.
probably lived like 10 different lives. Now here
Yeah,
she is at the White Lotus holding it down for her American husband.
hell yeah.
All right, let's talk about the last two characters, the Hawaiians, which includes Belinda, who is the spa manager from season 1 of the White Lotus. A little bit of spoilers here. That's okay. Um But she is apparently on a 3-month visitation to learn as much as she can and take it back to her location in Hawaii. She's also invited
Mhm.
her son Zion to come visit for a little bit. It sounds like he's like college age, around that age. And he's the one we see in the opening scene and the one that discovers the dead body.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what is going on with Zion because he in the intro when he's talking to the meditation leader, whoever she is, he says that he is like he's working through some stuff and he's being a little mysterious about what it is. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. It could be something simple or like private that he just doesn't want to say, and they're trying to mislead us a little bit, but I'm sure that will be revealed.
Yeah, and we don't know what Belinda's been up to. She kind of got shafted by
Mhm.
Tanya
Mhm.
previously, so it'll be interesting to see more of her backstory and what she's been up to since then. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I am looking forward to seeing Zion and Belinda interact and get more of their story.
Yeah.
Well, that is our list of suspects for now. I think it's safe to say that one of these people will die by the end of this show.
Say it ain't so.
Shocking. In a shocking reveal.
The shocking reveal in the first minute of the episode. Uh.
Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. But let's talk about we have just a few theories. It's episode 1. We don't want to get too deep into the nitty-gritty, But let's talk about a few things that we've heard through the grapevine here.
Let's do it. Well, the first one I've seen that I am super interested in, we'll probably find out right away, is that this season is a prequel to season one. And a couple of things that people are pointing to is obviously Greg being there. It's like, why would he be at another White Lotus, like you said? That's kind of weird. But another thing is that in season one, the reason why Tanya connects so much with Belinda is because she's like, "You're such a good healer," and she's like, she's really impressed by her skills. I think it, yeah, that was a good
That was a good
impression. You can thank
impression.
me. But people are thinking that maybe she got all of her skills here in Thailand, and then the season one is what follows. But I like this theory. I
Yeah.
think it's interesting.
I really like this theory because that would explain why Belinda feels so empowered to start her own wellness
True.
place or company. I like this a lot. I agree. If this is true, we will find out very soon because I think from either Belinda or Greg's story, we're gonna see that.
Hmm.
Theory number two. This may sound wild to you guys, but a lot of people are saying the gunshots at the beginning of the episode are maybe from a monkey.
Wow, I believe it. Those things are capable of anything.
I mean, there's so much about monkeys in this first episode. Number one, they just show them a lot.
Right.
There's also like some flat out lines about them. Don't feed the monkeys, they can be aggressive. And then there's also like the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil imagery in this episode too, which people have pointed out has been in past seasons of The White Lotus.
Yeah.
So it could be.
I think the thing that makes me believe that this could happen is that we kind of every season start the first episode, we get this like snapshot of the ending and someone dying. And I think we all kind of assume that it's murder because that's like the sensational thing for it to be. But they've really just been accidents. And so people are thinking that like, oh, of course we're like seeing these shady people and there's like just bad business happening or whatever. And I think it could be that it's just, oh, the a gun was stolen by a monkey and we hear gunshots and somebody accidentally gets killed, or maybe they get killed another way and the
Yeah.
gunshots happen and don't kill anybody. Who knows?
Yeah, I think this definitely could be true for all the reasons you said. And I think that's part of what makes The White Lotus great. Like I said, we have this thing that we're like leading to through the whole season. And by the end of it, it's so good. The stories are so good. The characters are so full and rich that we don't care that they die by getting shot by a monkey. And that's what makes The White Lotus so good.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And tragic. Like the deaths have also been really unfortunate and not the way that you want them to go, like the bad guy gets killed or something.
Right. Yeah, don't get too attached to any of these characters.
No, maybe we need to at the start of next episode, maybe we can make predictions of who we think is going to die.
Yeah, I'd
I haven't
love
thought
to.
about it. Well, start preparing for that.
I do
Um,
have one possible prediction. This is my last little theory thing.
yeah.
I think they gave a hint of this when Saxon picks up the fruit and the worker at the resort says, "Oh no, be really careful with that because it's very poisonous. The seed of this fruit is very poisonous." And Saxon says, "Oh, it could kill somebody?" And she's like, "Yeah." So they've hinted already at poison being on the grounds here. There's
Mhm.
also this element of forbidden fruit, which is it kind of goes along with this weird incestuous family that we were introduced to. We also know that women are more likely to use poisoning as a means of murdering someone. So I'm throwing out an early prediction that Piper attempts to poison, probably her older
Please,
brother.
please, Poison Saxon. I
I
hate this
know.
guy.
Please, Piper, kill this man. Um, Yeah, a lot of folks are saying it seems like he has like groomed his siblings, probably with the sister who he says is hot. And it seems
Ugh.
like now with the brother who he's asking what kind of porn he likes, it's just gross. We hope he dies. We know with this show, we don't always see the bad guy get what they deserve,
Mm-mm.
but it would be so, so sweet. So we will see.
Yeah.
That's an early prediction.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. Don't tell Saxon which fruits are poison because he is a sociopath for real.
Literally. I
Ugh.
know.
Well, what a fun episode and nice introduction to all of our characters. It's so fun to get this. Like, I know for some people it's not their thing, but I love the slow burn. Like, I love the really subtle drama of the White Lotus. I think it's written so well and directed so well. Mike White is a genius with this stuff. And I'm just so excited to see all of these storylines play out. So good.
I agree. A great start to this season. And I'm really looking forward to having our mom on to tell us what she thinks. We got to make sure she is caught up.
True.
Um, but we want to hear from you guys. Please find us on Instagram at Listen After Watching. Find us on TikTok. Let us know what you think about this first episode. Let us know your predictions. Do you think Saxon's going to die? Please, please, please. But yeah, we're testing out this new Wednesday shorter episode format. So let us know how you like that too. And thank you so much for tuning in. If this is the first time you're listening, we also cover Severance. We'll be covering a lot of shows and movies in the future. So stick
Mhm.
around and learn about some really cool shows
Heck
and movies.
yeah. And finally, Khop Ka.
ขอบคุณค่ะ.
Thank you very much.
Peace.
Goodbye.